I love this makeup look and this lipstick, but the lipstick's just not long lasting at all, so it's pretty much only good for videos. On to the video, and today I'm going to talk about my favourite things I did in Chicago. Now, Chicago is a weird city. I didn't necessarily go there to stay there for like a week or a holiday or whatever, but I did go there a few times during my study abroad year, and I feel like I got a good feeling of the city. Not necessarily a whole city experience, but it was still real nice. I went there once for a day trip, once for a New Year's Eve, New Year's Day shopping trip, and then a couple of times just to go to the airport, just as a stopping point in between. The very, very typical tourist thing to do is go and see the Millennium, what's it called? The Bean, as it's affectionately called. I think it's called Cloudgate. Correct me if I'm wrong, editing Ellie. But it's that very distinctive metallic bean that sits in Millennium Park, which everyone always takes photos in because it distorts your face and looks really cool. But no, it's really impressive and like so interesting that you can go under it and look at all your reflections everywhere. It's a great kind of introduction to such a varied city. Actually, my Chicago suggestions are going to be quite touristy. I just love Chicago as a city. I would really consider moving there if it didn't get quite so cold in the winter. Like, real cold. Ugh. My next recommendation is to go see the view at the 360 Chicago observation deck. I think it was called the John Hancock Observatory when I went, but it's the building with the Tilton viewpoint. I didn't even go on the Tilton part, but the view all the way around of a very typical American grid-like city was just mind-blowing. Bearing in mind I went there only a couple of months into my study abroad year, so like that very pulled back view of the view was just like nothing else I'd seen before. And we went when it was evening time, so the lights just lit up and it was really pretty. Now, one of the times I went was kind of around Christmas, so they had the Navy Pier Christmas exhibition-y thing with what felt like a million Christmas trees and a little ice rink and a little Santa around the world showing thing. But I think because of the unique place that Chicago is situated on the edge of a lake, it's really nice to get that different perspective and go to Navy Pier or go to the beach. Standing on the beach in Chicago, I don't even understand it, but one side you've got water as far as the eye can see, and on the other side literally skyscrapers right up against the beach, and it's just a really cool place, even for a walk in November time, so I recommend that. The shopping goes without saying, but the Magnificent Mile, which is their main shopping street, which goes for a mile, whoa, it's full of really lovely shops. What I was gonna say, like the buildings are really nice and they're decorative and they're luxury shops, so maybe don't spend money, just walk down it to somewhere else. But they've got a Disney store, they've got everything, whatever. They got a tiny church in the middle of it, which is quite cool, but really weird. I spent way too much shopping there and then had to take it back on a bus. Fun fact. Places to stay. I stayed at a real variety of places in Chicago. One happened to be the Hilton Hotel. Oh, where I think they bragged that the Queen and Obama had stayed there, but it was surprisingly cheap. I don't know if we got it on a deal or if the amount of time that we booked it in advance was brilliant, but don't discount these big name hotels just because they sound expensive. Although when we walked in we felt really out of place, it was a really enjoyable experience, and we spent one afternoon just walking around the hotel, finding the ballroom and maybe going into some places where we weren't supposed to go. One of the other places I went was a hostel called the Chicago Getaway Hostel, and we only spent one night in this place, but I wish we spent longer. They had like decals on the walls, and I mean, toilets and showers were completely separate to the rooms, but it just seemed like a really cool space, and they had like breakfast downstairs with like group hangouts and events that they put on. But yeah, I really recommend it, and I'll consider going back to it next time I go, because there better be a next time. One thing you'll want to do is go see the river view with the skyscrapers on the side of the river, and it's a really pretty view. But one thing you'll also want to do is do a big middle finger up to Trump Tower. Yes, he has one in Chicago. Yes, it needs all of the symbolic swearing. And now for a food recommendation, Chicago pizza, the deep dish Chicago pizza, is something that everyone has to experience. It's more like a pie, so you get like one pizza and you can share it between 5 people because it's just so deep and rich and cheesy that one slice is all you need. But it's beautiful. What accent was that? Those were just a few of the things I really enjoyed doing in Chicago. Hopefully I can find clips for all of them. But yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye!